Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. This is Darren. I hope you're all safe and well and having a good stitchy week. So today we're going to do a stitch with me, and as you can see, it's on my Supersize Tiger family. So we'll see how we go with this one, because I have a new accessory. Let me zoom out a minute. I like it. A bit of bling. Yep. So as you know, I hurt my finger at work. Got my x-rays done last week, and I got the results on Sunday, and I have fractured my finger from the tip to the knuckle. So yeah, I didn't just do a small fracture. No, I had to go all out. So we'll see how we go with the stitch with me. I got my new accessory today, so today is Wednesday. So I'm off work. When I went to see the doctor on Sunday, he told me I need to have at least a week off work because my finger's not healing since I did it like 2 weeks ago. So I need to have at least a week off work to try and get it to start healing. So I was like, okay. Well, I went into work on Monday anyway to see work. I thought, well, I've worked with it broken for 2 weeks. What's another day going to hurt? So I went in to see them to see how they wanted to proceed with it. And over here they have, it's called work cover. So if you get injured at work, you have to go to the doctors and they do a certificate to say how long you need off, and then it goes through works insurance or something like that, so that you still get paid. At least just in case you need any like further treatment down the line or any surgery or anything like that, it's covered, so you don't have to worry about paying for it. So when I saw him on Monday, I said to him, look, I'll see doctor. I said, I prefer not to have too much time off because I'll be bored. I said, so says hopefully I'll get him to sign me off for just like a week. Yeah, he signed me off for 8. I'm not due to go back to work until March the 8th. I was like, I'm going to be bored stupid. He says, well, have a word with work, so which I've got to do on Monday. He says, and I says, see if there's any light duties. He says, if we've got some light duties for you to do, he says, I'll allow you to go back to work. He says, because he says you've got to keep this splint on. He says for 6 weeks. He says, then we need to do another x-ray. He says to make sure it's healed. He says, so he says, you're not going to work for 8 weeks unless I can give you light duties. I was like, well, work's not going to like that one. I told him I'd only be off for a week, maybe 2. So I sent Wirt the copy of the form and told him what the doctor had said. So the HR lady's going to have a word with the boss and see what he suggests, if there's any kind of light duties or whatever I can do. So if there's any light duties, I'll be back at work. Not next week, the week after. If there's no light duties, then I'm going to be off for a while. So fair dues, I don't mind having 8 weeks off and getting paid for it, but I'll be bored stupid. Yes, I'll be doing cross-stitching, but 8 weeks sat at home, not able to do an awful lot. We'll see how we go. Now I do apologise as well. I'm hoping you can hear me okay. I have the ceiling fan on and I have the portable aircon on because it's 35 degrees here today. I don't think it's got to 35 degrees yet. It is 1 o'clock in the afternoon, so it should have reached it by now. This is normally our hottest time of the day. Let's have a look. I'll tell you what we're up to. Yep, 35.6 degrees. So yeah, it's warm. So I'm hoping you can hear me okay. I'll double check it when I'm doing it, and if needs be turn the volume up, and hopefully you can hear me over the aircon and the ceiling fan. I'm hoping it doesn't pick it up. So when I went to the doctor's on Sunday, he says you need to do what's called the buddy method, where you take one finger next to the other finger. I was like, okay. And then when I went to see my doctor today, now my doctor's, one of his specialities to deal with bones and stuff like that. He says, who told you to do that? And I told him which doctor. He says, he don't know what he's talking about. He said, it needs to be in a splint. He says, you broke your knuckle. He says, having the buddy method, he says, does not help heal it. He says, you need to keep it straight so that your knuckle can heal. He says, get rid of that tape. He says, you need one of these splints. So this is not the splint that he recommended. It's the only one I could get. So I've ordered the one that I need. So that should be here hopefully within the next couple of days. So I'll just have to put with this one for now. Well, the only thing with this one, I don't know if you can see here, it's like Velcro, where it's upside down Velcro. So it digs into your finger. It's quite annoying. So yeah, I might swap that out later on for some tape and just tape it round. So yeah, so we'll see how we go with the stitching wise. So I might get a lot of work done, I may not. Now apologies as well, I haven't gone through and looked for any questions because I've been dealing with getting my finger all sorted. And now I forgot where I'm up to. Where am I? Okay. Right. So we're just winging it today. So yeah, when I went and saw HR lady on Monday, it was her first day back at work because she can work from home. And the kids have obviously been off school for the long holidays, summer holidays. So they went back on Monday. So I didn't think she was coming in because normally she's there by 9 o'clock. And that's when we have our first break. And she wasn't there. And I thought, oh, she's obviously having another day off. Anyway, she turned up about 9:15. She was a little bit late because first day at school dropping kids off. So I explained her. She says, have you already done the form? I says, no. I says, because I didn't know which way you wanted to do it. Whether you wanted me to just get a sick note or what. She was like, no, you're best off getting the work cover form done. It says, just in case you need anything further down the line from it. I was like, okay. And then she went, are you going home now? And I was like, no. She went, no. I says, no. I says, no point me going home at 9:30. I says, because Shane's at work as well. And he's not going to be able to get home. So I'm going to have to, by the time I get home, I'll be sat down for an hour, then I have to turn around and come back again. I said, so I might as well just work. She says, you sure you're alright to work? I says, I've worked for 2 weeks with a broken finger. I says, I'm sure I can cope for another day. She went, we need more people like you working here. Because obviously everybody else there takes the mickey. And now it looks like I'm taking the mickey by having been signed off for 8 weeks. But it is what it is. Well, hopefully they'll find me some light duties to do and I can go back to work. Because while I'm on the work cover, I don't get full pay. It's only a percentage of your pay. Now, last time I got work cover was when I had the concussion. If you were with me then, when I got a piece of wood fall on my head. When I had that concussion, they paid me full pay. But when I got paid today, they're not giving me full pay, so I don't know what that's all about. Yeah, and typical as well at work. I told them I was going to be off from Tuesday and hopefully just for the week, so it's only going to be like 3 days because it's Australia Day tomorrow, so Thursday, 26th. So that's a public holiday, so everyone's off anyway. And then we was due to go back to work on Friday. And then they sent an email out saying some of the other places that we deal with are actually having Friday off because most of our businesses that we deal with and us, we only work part day on Friday. We don't work all day. So they said so due to the fact that they're all having the time off, so we're not going to be able to get any deliveries or send any deliveries out. We're having the day off as well. It's like typical. Anytime I get to have a week off from work, and everybody else has got 4 days off anyway for a long weekend. So Shane says, no point out going on sick, he says, for 2 days. I says, yeah, but I said, I need to get this strapped up, my finger, because I didn't have it strapped up while I was at work. I said, I need to get the finger strapped up, I said, so I can get it fixed. And I was like, oh, alright, fair enough. And now I've got to wear this silly splint thing. I don't know if I have to wear it at night time or not. That's going to be annoying if I do. I'm definitely putting tape around it if I have to wear it at night time. I'm not having this Velcro sticking in my head, because I sleep on my front with my arms under my head. So yeah, I'm not having that stick on my head. That's going to be super annoying. Well, there's one thing, we shouldn't get interrupted by Shane today because he's at work. And I've also mastered ending my threads, running it underneath with my Baltic needle. So now I don't have to switch my needles out unless I want to do a pin stitch. So that is awesome. And we're going to try and see if we can do this for an hour. I'll say this is the first time today I've had this splint on my finger, so I've not done any stitching with it on yet, so we'll see how we go. So yeah, so I'm going to aim for at least an hour. I was talking to the people in one of my group chats, which has Alara in it. Told them that the doctor signed me off for 8 weeks, and she was like, crap, does that mean I need to pull out Dragons of the Sabbat and start stitching on it non-stop? And double time it, maybe triple time it, as we having 8 weeks off. I doubt I'll get that much stitching done. I said, we'll see. I said, but no, I think you should be okay. I don't think I could stitch on top frog constantly for 8 weeks. Mind you, if I did, I suppose I'd probably get close to a finish. Maybe. No, I wouldn't. I wouldn't get nowhere near a finish. But I get a couple of pages done. So I've been working on my Tiger of the Heavens this week. Probably done it more than I should have done. Well, that's coming along nicely. So I don't think it'll be too long now until that one's finished. So this one, I worked on Tiger of the Heavens on Saturday. And I worked on it on Sunday for a bit. Although I should have been working on this one on Sunday and I never got around to it because I was too busy. On the Tiger of the Heavens, that planet is absolutely huge. I didn't think there were that many stitches left in it. And there is a lot more than I thought there was. So I've got the planet to finish. And then at the top, I didn't do all the top one with how I'd got the folded in the Q-snap. So I need to go back in and finish up with the top. And I've got all the back stitching to do and then all the beads to add on. So can I get it done by the end of January? We'll see. I think there's a good possibility I can. But it depends how stitching goes with this thing. Oops, sorry. We just headbutted you then. Or if you remember on my last stitch with me, someone asked for some photos of the area where I live. Well, because obviously Shane needed the car for work, I walked to the doctor's today and then walked back. I would not recommend walking 10 kilometres wearing a pair of, no, depends where you're from, thongs, flip-flops or jandals. Yeah, that wasn't fun. Got blisters in between my toes. I don't know why I thought it'd be a good idea to wear thongs to the doctors for a 10k walk. Well, it was 5k there, 5k back. So I don't know why I thought it was a good idea. But last time I wore trainers and that was bad enough. So yeah, I definitely won't be doing that again. Next time I'll be asking someone if I can borrow the car. But it was a good walk. It doesn't bother me walking places. So I'll add some, as I was saying, I'll add some pictures in at the end of some of the surrounding areas. Now that there will be pictures of a road. This is the road I've got to walk up. It may not look too steep, so I took one up to the corner and then one from the corner up to the top of the hill, so you can see what it's like. But in the picture it doesn't look so steep, so I tried taking one from the top of the hill so you can see what it leads down, but you can't really see that either. But it's a very steep climb, put it that way. It takes it out of you if you're unfit like me. So it's a very steep climb. It's alright when you're going down it, but when you're going back up it, it's a bugger. So needless to say, by the time I got to the top, I was absolutely pooped. And luckily my house is not far from the top of the hill. So by the time I got here, it was already 28 degrees or something outside. So I was absolutely sweating buckets. Okay. So I got in, I already had the ceiling fans going, put the aircon on, jumped in the shower, to have a nice cool shower, got out of the shower, sweated even more, because it's hot. I stood in front of the aircon for 10 minutes. I thought, well, it's a good way to get a bit of fitness in. 10k walk. The eating of the vanilla slice on the way back and the cup of coffee probably didn't help. But I needed some kind of nourishment to make it up that hill. That's my excuse, I'm sticking to it. Called in at the chemist as well to get some plasters, and I thought I only need them for when I get home to help with these blisters. So I bought the cheap ones Yeah, I should have gone for more expensive ones. They were rubbish. I didn't even stay on my toes to help out. So, needless to say, they were neither use nor ornament. At one stage, I actually took my, I'm going to call them flip-flops because it sounds wrong if I say I took my thumbs off. I took my flip-flops off and walked barefoot. Now over here, the paths are made of, I think it's concrete, but the road is asphalt. So walking on the path wasn't too bad. Stepped onto the road, crossed the road, and holy crap, that was hot. Needless to say, I walked pretty fast across the roads. Generally, I do not walk barefoot at all. Definitely wouldn't walk barefoot over in the UK because you'd end up with glass and everything in there. Over here, the roads are a lot more, well, past them are a lot more cleaner. So generally, I don't walk barefoot. But I decided to. It wasn't too bad actually, except for crossing the roads. So yeah, won't be doing that again. But I saw when I got into town, right on the corner, so it's where the main traffic lights are in town, someone had put a sign out. I don't know what it was for, to be honest with you. I'd never really paid much attention to it. I was too busy laughing at it. I'll put a picture in here, if I remember. If not, I'll put it in at the end of it. But I was killing it. I looked like an idiot. I was stood in the middle of town centre, like in the town, laughing my head off at the sign and then going back and taking a photo of it. People must have thought I was crazy. I just thought it was so funny. It looks like I'm going to be babysitting again on, not this Saturday coming up, a week on Saturday. Well, Shane's sister and niece go and get another tattoo. They're getting matching tattoos. Shane, as far as I'm aware, is going with them because he wants to ask about another tattoo for him. I said, I don't know how you're going to afford it. I said, because I ain't paying for another one for you. And I'm not putting up with the 2 weeks of you moaning. So I think he's going with them anyway. So they asked if I'd look after the little one. I went, yep, as long as you pay me. She went, what do you mean pay you? I said, well, you generally pay babysitters. She says, yeah, but you're family. You don't pay family. I said, well, you do this one. Cough up some money. She just started laughing at me. So I'm guessing I won't be getting paid for looking after her then. Never mind. So I don't know how long I'm going to have her for. I'm assuming it's going to be a couple of hours. Mind you, when she was here the other day, she wasn't too bad. She was here with her mum and dad, but she wasn't too bad. She went out for the horses. And just sat there, really. Playing with a dead moth. She's a strange kid. So yeah, there was a dead moth on the floor outside, where the cat area is. So she was playing with that. That was her new friend, she said. She's got a good imagination, I'll tell you that, but she's a strange child sometimes. She's growing up though. I can't remember now, she's 9 or she's 10. No, she's 10 this year, so she's 9. But yeah. She's only small. For a 9-year-old, she's tiny. She's wore a school uniform she has had for 4 years, because it's still fitter. And this year is the first time she's getting a full new school uniform, because she's grown. She hasn't grown much, but she's grown. So she needs a full new uniform. Whereas normally it was only like just like maybe some new shorts or something like that. Now she needs a full set. So yeah, so the kids went back on Monday. Much to everyone's relief. Makes mine and Shane's trip a bit longer though, because there's more traffic on the roads in the morning. You wouldn't think so, because I mean we set off for work at 5:15 in the morning, and when the kids are off, you don't see as much traffic on the road. Bearing in mind, kids don't start school till 9 o'clock. Yeah, there seems to be a lot more traffic when the kids go back to school. So obviously, a lot of parents must take the 6 weeks off when the kids are off, or something like that. And then obviously when the kids are due back, they come off their holidays. So I don't think I've got enough to get all these stitches in. How far up are you? No. Okay. I'll do one stitch in. Oh, that didn't work. Crafty Jamie showed a way of threading your needle if you have trouble threading it. I've been using that method and it was working fine, except for this. I can't get my finger in properly to get it. But how she does it, you fold it over your finger. It's kind of a bit like how Karen, the needle book, does it, and then you run your needle backwards and forwards and it pops up through the eye. And I've had no problems doing it until today. I got it mastered, almost like every 2 or 3. Got it. Yeah. So I did have it mastered. And I'm going to have to learn again. Don't have enough to pin stitch this one, so we'll just run it under this way if I can. So as I said, I was off from yesterday, Tuesday, and one of the other lads was working on my saw. He lasted till lunchtime and then went home. No one knows why, but him and it's the young lad, so him and his brother-in-law, kind of, sort of, one of the lads who goes out with his sister who works there. They both went home at lunchtime. Nobody knows why. The only thing with him, because the young lad doesn't drive, he thinks if the other lad has a day off, he has to have a day off. If the other lad has to go home early, he has to go home early. It's like, what are you going to do if the other lad leaves? She'll never be coming to work. And everybody else who gets a lift off the same lad, we're like, okay, so we're catching a bus home or we're getting an Uber. He's like, he cries and is like, no, I need to go home now when he goes home. So he goes home at the same time. Well, I don't even know if they tell anybody that they've gone home. I think they just clock out and go home. So whether they're back today or not, I have no idea. I'm assuming if they go home today, because the boss will not be in a good mood with me putting a sick note in for 8 weeks. He's not going to be a good mood, so he might get rid of him. That's how I got the job. One of the lads who's actually works there now, he always just used to turn up whenever he wanted to and used to leave whenever he wanted to. And he'd had plenty of warnings, but like I say over there, they can't get the stuff, so you get away with anything you want to do. And one day he just decided he was gonna, I don't know if he didn't turn up or he turned up late, I can't remember, and the boss was in a bad mood, so we just got rid of him. I think he turned up, I don't think he turned up, I think he phoned in sick again, because he likes to have at least 1 day off a week sick. So I think he phoned in sick, so the boss told him to not bother coming back. And then from that day on, well, I started working the next day. And then from the day I started working, he phoned up every week to see if there was any work again. It took him, I think, nearly a year before they got him back. And he still does exactly the same. Turns up late every day, goes home when he wants. Takes at least 1 sick day off a week. Even though he don't get paid sick pay, because he's not full time. But he still does it. But now him and the young lad have both decided that they want full-time positions instead of just the casual position. So they're like, yeah, we're going to turn up every day for work. So far, the young lad has had, I don't know, since we've been back, so we've only been back 2 weeks. 3 weeks? Well, 2.5 weeks. He's already had 5 days off in 2.5 weeks, and the other lad has had 3 days off, but bearing in mind he was actually sick. He actually ended up going to the doctors and he actually gave himself a stomach infection from eating food he'd left out overnight. I was like, why would you eat food that you'd left out overnight? He went, oh. So yeah, so he gave himself a stomach infection. He's lost a lot of weight from it in the space of a week. I think he lost something like 8 kilos. So what's that? 16, maybe about 17 pounds in a week. He lost a lot. So, but now he's on antibiotics of some kind. So his appetite's coming back. So, you know that, all those kilos you lost, you're going to put those all back on in about 2 days. Because you'll be like, yeah, I can eat everything I want to. You just start laughing at me. Because he knows it's true. I'm hoping my hand's not in the way, but I have a funny feeling my hand's been in the way all this time while I've been stitching, so I do apologise. Hopefully you're just listening and not watching. Let me zoom you out a little bit more. My hand might not be in the way then, but then you might get blinded by the silver from. I was in the wrong spot then for some reason. Nope, but I have 2 strands together there instead of 1. Come on, how have I tied you in? There we go. Gotcha. I was home yesterday while Shane was at work, and all of a sudden it got really, really muggy. And I was like, something tells me there's a storm on the way. So I looked on the phone, and sure enough, there was one not far from us. Now, we finish at 3:30, so it was about 3:45 when I saw this. So I thought, right, well, I know Shane's going to be on his way home. So I phoned him up, and I says, right, let me know when you get near. I says, I'll go and open the back gate. I says, there's a big storm coming in. I says, and there's hail in it as well. I says, so drive it straight around the back. I was like, okay. So he phoned me when he got nearer home, so I opened the back gate, because obviously you can't just leave it home because of the horses, and they just walk in. So put the car away, and it was black as, and then all of a sudden it cleared up. And I was like, seriously? And she was like, see, I told you we weren't going to get anything from this storm. Next thing, it absolutely pelted it down. So on the weather thing, it says we were predicted to get 2 mils of rain for the night. We got 26. Hey, you kind of misjudged that one. And it rained for, well, the storm lasted 2.5 hours, something like that. So a lot of thunder and lightning. The poor cats were hiding, and yeah, we had a couple of quick downpours, and they go into the drizzle stuff, and then back down to downpours again. So yeah, we got like 26 mils. Not bad. It's 22 mils, but not bad. Right, well, we're at 38 minutes. Right, I'm just going to take a quick break, because this thing is annoying me, so I might go and stick some tape around it or something. So I will be back in a bit. So we're at, well, 38 minutes. Not too bad so far. So I'll be back in a moment. Okay, we're back. Did you know that if you actually turn Velcro over, you actually get a smooth side? Duh. I didn't put it on. The lady in the chemist did it. So I just thought that's how it was. But yeah, if you turn it over, you get a smooth side on the Velcro, so it doesn't irritate. You lot were probably shouting at that already. So yeah, it's a lot more comfortable now. Only thing, you're trying to get the same tension on it when you're doing it on your own. It's a bit tricky, but I got there. So while I was sorting that out, making a coffee, I thought I'd go on and have a look, see what questions I've got, if I've got any. And I've got, I think, 3. So we'll go through those in a second. I'll finish this colour first, because there's not much of this colour. So I had a look on the weather app a minute ago as well. Looks like we're in for some more storms today. It is good. The only thing downside we're having storms is, one, it makes it go cooler, which is good, but it makes it so muggy when it's finished. I mean, last night it was muggy as. So needless to say, the portable aircon was on in the bedroom for most of the night. Because it was, well, I wouldn't say it was really hot, it was just really, really muggy. It was horrible. Horrible to sleep with. That's the only thing I don't like about this house. Is when it's hot, muggy, it kind of seeps through the walls where you're not being fully enclosed. So it makes it horrible. And your bedding feels wet. It's disgusting. It's like you peed the bed. Oh, speaking of, I was crying with laughter last night. So, getting ready to go to bed, I was going around turning all the lights off and locking everything up. Shane walks into the bedroom, comes running out of the bedroom. He's like, crap, there's a huntsman. I was like, right. He says it's freaking huge. Now, I didn't get a chance to take a picture of it, but yeah, this thing was huge. It was massive. So it may, if you remember, I told you about Shane had one outside. Yeah, I think it may have been that one. It was massive. So Shane was there with fly spray, because the fly spray over here is meant to kill spiders as well. Wasn't doing much good on this huntsman, put it that way. But because the aircon was on in the bedroom, I think it kind of froze it a bit. Because it wasn't moving very far. So Shane sprayed it and it didn't move. He said it could be dead. He said, oh, that way it's frozen. I think it was frozen. And he was waiting for it to fall off the wall. He said, I can't reach it. I said, and you want me to do what? I said, you're taller than me, Shane. I said, if you can't reach it, there's no way I can reach it. So he sprayed it again. And again, and this huntsman still stayed on this wall. And they started moving, not very far. I was like, well, it's not dead. So, anyway, I have nothing to catch a huntsman of that size in. So I said to him, I said, well, the only thing you can do is either knock it off the wall and squish it. I said, or squish it on the wall. So, in the end, I had to deal with it. So I don't know if you've seen them. There's like, it's like a, I don't know what you call them. It's like a mop thing, but it's not a mop. So it's not an actual like mop. It's one of these like spray mops with the microfiber heads on it. So it's just like a flat head for doing like wooden floors and stuff like that. So we got one of them. So I gets that and it squishes this spider on the wall. And it actually stuck to the mop head. I was like, sweet. So I'm walking towards the door so I could get rid of it. Shane's absolutely papping himself. It's like, just open the door. I said, so I can get rid of it. I said, it's dead anyway. But it wouldn't go past me because I had this spider on this mop. Anyway, all of a sudden this spider started moving. It's like, okay, it's not dead. Hurry up and open this door. Then Shane ran the other way. It's like, Shane, I need the door opening so I can get rid of it. Because the cats were watching it as well, and cats were thinking like, ooh, food. Now, I don't think huntsmen are very good for cats. So, anyway, this spider starts moving. So I had to turn the mop upside down and squash it onto the mat near the front door while I'm waiting for Shane to open the door. So Shane finally opens the front door and this spider was still alive. It's like, geez, this thing must be like Arnie. Muscles from nowhere. So I flicked it out the door. And flicked it down the steps. And it was still there this morning, so it must have died eventually. Anyway, when I come back from the doctor's, it's gone, so Ben must have ate it. And then Shane's like scouring the bedroom to see if he could find any more. It's like, I don't think there's any more, Shane. You'd see him if there were. And he's like looking and looking. It's like, there's nothing there. Yeah, Shane does not like spiders. So I was half expecting him to wake me up in the middle of the night saying there were a spider somewhere, but he didn't. But yeah, it was a big ass spider, that's for sure. So, alright, let me get to these questions that I've got. As I say, it's not many. I think it's about 3. So the first one is from Beth Palmer, who asked, how long have I lived at my current residence? So we have been here now. We've just signed our lease again for another year, so we've been here 3 years. So yeah, 3 years, and we just signed his lease for his 4th year. So that's how long we've lived here. Can't wait to move out of it, but hey, there we go. Unfortunately, one of the cheapest places around, so looks like we're here for a while until until we can get some money saved up for a deposit for a house or something like that, or get a better job where I can afford to pay more rent. Shane was actually looking at houses, even though we've just signed his lease. He was looking for houses. There were a couple of nice ones he saw. There were, I think, the cheapest one he found was $900 a week. It's like, yeah, we definitely can't afford that one. And then the next one he found was $1,200 a week. He's like, what kind of job do they think people have around here? It was nice though. had a pool, 5 bedrooms, 4 bathrooms, and it's like, yeah, it's nice. We can't afford it, but it's nice. Right, next question. It's from Dawn. So, geez, me and the lad who are working on ourselves not had it easy this week. The same thing comes in 3, so hopefully that's it. And fingers crossed there won't be any more injuries. And she wants to know, when I do cross country, do you do it per page or across the whole piece if it's in Pattern Keeper? She's working on a HAID from bottom to top. That's how she prefers to stitch, and try to complete the whole 10 by 10, the 10 square column. She doesn't like parking. So when I'm doing cross country, I generally do per page. The only one I'm not doing really per page is the snowman ornament. That one I'm colour completing, so that's over the whole thing. And the mini top frog, because that one, there's that many colours. Every time I pick a colour, it's everywhere. So that one I'm just going wherever that one runs. But I've not colour completed many colours on there because I only do so much of it, and then I'll switch out to a different colour. So yeah, I generally do cross country per page. She also wants to know, doing it her way, will she get like column lines? I think that's what she said. Oh, page lines. If, in order to prevent page lines, if you do like what I've done, where you get to, where am I? Like here, if you get to like the end of a page, just do a couple of stitches into the next page, and that prevents you from getting page breaks. So I don't have any page breaks on mine at all. Well, not that I've found anyway. So yeah, as long as you feed into the next page, you should be good, and you won't get any page breaks or page lines. So I hope that answers your question, Dawn. Let me know if you need any more explanation on that. And then the last one is from Ellen. I think that's how you pronounce it, Ellen Jackson. who was watching one of my last stitch with me, and the threads I have hanging under the area I'm stitching, how do you mark which colours they are? So someone did reply that I use Pattern Keeper, which is correct. So on Pattern Keeper you can mark where you've marked the colour. If I am doing a paper chart one, then I will mark parked stitches with a different highlighter to the one I'm using. So say for example I'm using green, I will use say maybe orange to highlight my parked stitches so I know which one is where. And then once I've stitched it in, I'll colour it over with the colour that I'm using for normal highlighting. I hope that makes sense. But 9 out of 10, most of mine are in Pattern Keeper anyway, so I just, on Pattern Keeper you can mark where you've parked your threads anyway, so you know which one's which. Six. Oh, come on. Nope, didn't work. I didn't do that. Talk amongst yourself for 5 minutes while I try and thread my needle. There we go, got it. Oh, no, don't you come out, don't you come out. I did have it. I don't have it. It's a show in itself, isn't it? See how many times it takes me to thread a needle. Yeah, you got it. Just unthreaded that again. Right, so what did I say we was at before? 38 minutes, 48, nearly 58 minutes. I'll do another strand. Let's go out. I think that's all the questions. Yep. Come here. Yep. Right, so this one was down up here. Well, there's one thing anyway, with me having at least next week off, you know you're going to get another stitch with me next week. I spoke to my mum the other day. She's doing good. She had there was the doctor or the nurse out. I think it was the nurse. I think. Because they had a bit of concerns. Because she's going to the toilet too much. So they've hopefully got that sorted out for her. I just headbutted the camera, so again, apologies. But other than that concern, she was alright. She had a flu jab and a COVID jab. Now over here, your flu and your COVID jab is all in one. But over in the UK, obviously they didn't. I don't know if they have that over there or not. So she had 2 jabs, one in one arm, one in the other. And then they've turned around and told her that they want to have a jab for shingles, to stop her from getting shingles. It's like, well, she doesn't go anywhere to get any shingles of any sort. So I don't know when she's having that jab. So sorting that out for her as well. I think I told you my brother was having the hallway painted. So that's now finished. When I spoke to my mum on Sunday, she said that my cousin was coming back to finish off. I said, I thought he'd already finished. She went, no, he's still got some, I think it was gloss work to do. I said, well, my brother sent me photos of everything and said it was all done. Just waiting for the carpet. So obviously he lied. So that should now be all finished. And then I think it's in a end of February, I think, March. She's having the wet room sorted out for her. So she's looking forward to that so she can have a shower. So my brother's doing it. He's just finishing an extension or something at the moment. So once he's finished that, he'll be sorting out the shower room for it. And then she's on about she needs a new cooker, because the cooker the oven that I've got over there, the hob's separate from the oven. Now the oven has 2 ovens, theoretically. One's a proper oven and one's like it's like your grill stroke. It can be an oven as well, if you know what I mean. Well, the one that's the grill stroke oven, the element in it's gone, so you can't use it. So there was looking at getting a new oven, But it turns out they might need to get a new housing cupboard for it. So they might not be getting a new oven just yet. They won't know until... I can't remember what Mum said. They can't get it just yet for some reason or other. And I was like, right. But she's looking at getting a new washing machine, because as I mentioned, the washing machine over there was absolutely rubbish. When it finished washing, you had to spin it again, and sometimes spin it again, because the clothes would come out wetter than what they went in, well, a lot wetter than what they went in. Obviously, since they've been washed. So yeah, so I don't know if she's got a new washing machine yet. My brother was meant to be going and having a look, because they were waiting for the sales to start, which I'm they've already started, but it was waiting for clear time to go and have a look at them. Now, I think I mentioned before that they said that they was going to change her morning hours. I can't remember now if I mentioned it or not. And they said that if they do, they won't be feeding the dogs or the cats. Well, they had the social worker out and the person in charge of the carers. So it's the social worker who turned around and said that the carers are not to feed the pets, and they cut her hours down from, she used to have an hour and 15 in the morning to get her up and get ready and everything, and they was cutting it down to 45 minutes, and all carers said you can't do it, it's not possible to do it. So anyway, they had the social worker out, and I said the woman from the care company, and they've decided that they will feed the animals, because obviously it's not fair on them. It's not my brother's fault that he has to work sometimes and he's not there all day. So they're now allowed to feed the animals again. They cut her hours from an hour and 15 down to an hour. So for the extra, to save the 15 minutes, what they used to do is when they used to get my mum ready, they would take her into the kitchen for her to make a breakfast, and then she would go back into the sitting room to have her breakfast, and then they would take her back into the kitchen to clean her teeth, etc. So now what they decided, to save the 15 minutes, when she makes her breakfast, she's now going to sit at the kitchen table and eat her breakfast, because we got a new table just before I came over here. So she's now going to sit at the table and eat her breakfast, which saves them having to take her back through to the living room and then bring her back into the kitchen. So that's to shave off like 15 minutes. So far it's working. So, because if they go over too many hours, my mum has to pay the difference. So the social will pay so much, and they generally send my mum a bill once a month with what she owes for any extra work and stuff like that that's had to be done, or extra hours. So the social worker is concerned that it's costing my mum too much money having the carers. And I apologise, I don't think you saw anything I've been sticking. So yeah, so this hopefully will save us some money. Mind you, to be fair, the care company had been ripping off the social, because they were claiming for taking my mum to the shops. My mum's not been out of the house for over a year, unless it's to go to the doctors. So they reckon they were taking her to the shops. So they reckon they were washing her hair every day, and they don't. They wash it twice a week. So yeah, they were claiming for stuff that hadn't been done. So they're now getting investigated by the social. But instead of keeping mum's times how they used to be, because they said it wasn't fair on her having to pay all this extra, it's like, well, if you look back at what they've charged for, then you'll see that she shouldn't have to be paying any extra, so therefore you should give her some money back. So it's still under investigation, so I don't know what's happening there. So the carers themselves that come in are lovely people. Just the company's a bit dodgy by the sounds of it. Well, not a bit dodgy, a lot dodgy. Yay, first time. And it's coming a little bit darker, so I think there must be a storm on the way. The sun's disappeared. So right, I'm going to end it here then. So I think it's just over an hour, this one. Maybe a little bit longer. Maybe about an hour and 10-ish. So again guys, thanks for putting up with me. Sorry, again, apologies if my hand was in the way. It's a bit hard to maneuver when you can't bend your little finger and it keeps hitting everything. So I apologise again. So hopefully I'll get that mastered by next stitch with me. But again, if you do have any questions or comments, then please feel free to drop those down below. You can always email me as well. My email address is dizzystitcher@gmail.com, or I am on Instagram @dizzystitcher. And also, if you are in the Facebook group, which is Dizzy's Stitches, you can message me in there as well. Again, if you've not joined the group and you are interested, it's not just all for cross stitching, it's for any craft, whether it be knitting, crochet, diamond, painting, whatever. Feel free to join and share your crafting with us. So I think they're too bad. I got 182 stitches in, so hopefully by the weekend I'll have this bit finished in, and then maybe a lot of that part finished in as well. Maybe not, we'll see. So again guys, thank you very much for putting up with me. Again, until my next video, which will be my update video in a couple of days, take care, stay safe, happy stitching. Thank you very much for watching, much appreciated. Until next time guys, bye bye for now. Oh, and again, I'll add photos at the end of what I took on my walk today.